Tell Me About It is brought to you by Extreme Health Club.
Trevent Hayes, KY Sports TV. We also have James Brown, who is not on this segment with us, 104 The Score. This is Glasgow Electric Plant Board, Channel 6, the local channel. We are joined today by two Glasgow High School basketball players, Zach Poore and JC Walbert. We'll start with JC. JC, you guys didn't have the season that you quite wanted to have last year. What are some things that you did over the summer to maybe help your game to get you prepared for this year?
I mean, constant work. 2 days after the season ended, we were all back in the gym getting the work in. So I think just coming in and day out, putting in the work to get better and go out there, get the job done every night, get the win helps a lot.
What do you think the strong point of your game is?
Definitely probably my mid-range game. I feel I've worked on that a lot, but, just ball handling, trying to get better at that a lot.
All right, so you've worked on some things individually to help your game. You've got, I think you guys have, 5 seniors? Four. It's you two, Rico.
Rico's not playing.
Oh, Rico's not going to play this year.
Javen Garman and David Dale.
Okay.
Yeah.
We also have Zach Poore. Zach, this is your, I actually had the privilege of coaching you a little bit. Actually, both of you guys. I think you played a tournament or two with us. You've really matured and grown. What are some things about your game that you think helps the team?
Well, my defense mainly, yeah. I drive a lot. That's about it, really. Just defense and layups.
Okay, spoke to your coach, and he said they have you guys preseason ranked number 5 in the region, behind some usually pretty good teams in the 4th region. How do you think you guys will finish in the district and region this year?
Well, I mean, we are looking way better than we did last year. Number 5, it's a little bit high, but I think we can work with it.
What do you think, JC?
I mean, it's hard to tell right now. We got some young guys coming up, but we don't have a lot of seniors. We're young, but I feel like we can get the job done.
You have Jarek Martin, who's a sophomore, who's probably one of the best players in the 4th region. How is it playing with somebody younger than you with so much talent?
It's great to have him, honestly. I mean, nobody can really shut him down. I mean, he's 6'4", long, can get to the basket whenever he wants to. Just give him the ball and let him go.
He said it.
All right, well, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, James will be on with myself along with Coach B.J. Buford, and we'll get the coach's point of view for this year.
Extreme Fitness has doubled in size, now with over 8,000 square feet of co-ed weights and an upgraded 90-degree saline therapy pool. The Extreme Fitness campus also holds the exclusive Extreme Fitness for Women complex and Extreme Blend smoothie bar. You have to experience the variety of classes to realize the impact they have on their clients. Personal training is with the best in the business and is available and tailored to fit individuals. So start your journey today at Extreme Fitness and Health Club.
Trevent Hayes, KY Sports TV. We're back with James Brown, 104 The Score. We are on Glasgow Electric Plant Board, Channel 6, the local channel. On Tell Me About It. And we are here with Mr. Memphis himself, Glasgow Scotty head coach B.J. Buford.
302 bunch, man. I'm right here. I'm right down the street. Bunch, man.
I'm gonna step away for a few minutes to regain my thoughts after our last conversation. So, James, I want you to spearhead this conversation.
Oh yeah, sure. Would. He was just on my show the other day, and unfortunately my recording was not working, so I didn't even get to record the conversation we had on the Brown Sports Bag, but we talked a little bit about your upcoming season and the things you guys did in the off season to try to improve. And I think out of that conversation, the consensus is the biggest thing that has occurred is you have guys, your younger guys, committed in the off season just being better basketball players.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. When I came into the program, we didn't have a summer. We didn't do a summer thing, mainly because I was transitioning from Chicago to here, so they didn't get the opportunity to see how I coached to begin with. I didn't get to see the opportunity to see the teams and the players around. Mm-hmm. So it's funny because people kept sending me stuff to rate this team. I Only thing I could tell you is Central, because I actually graduated from there and knew Will and knew his system, and Coach Riley, just the history of the program. But I think this summer was huge for us as far as the younger guys being able to play. We figured out who wanted to play, who didn't want to play. Figured out the commitment to the guys. The guys had commitment to us, and we committed to them. That's the biggest thing for me, is making sure that they put themselves in the best position to be successful. Beyond whatever else goes on, we're trying to raise young men, and a lot of moments that we go through, the hardships that we might have gone through, because we're trying to teach them how to be young men as well as good basketball players. So we're trying to use basketball in order, myself and Brandon, Matt Sexton, and now a new person. We got a freshman coach, Tucker Aikens, back. I mean, not Tucker, Tucker Fitzpatrick has come back with us, so he's going to be helping us with the freshmen. So we got a great group of coaches with us, and we just trying to inspire the young men to be better people as well as basketball players.
One of the things that I think that's kind of curious, you grew up in Glasgow, and we talked about this last year. You graduated from Warren Central, but you've basically been in big cities, so to speak, since you left home, right?
Yeah.
What was the transition for you coming back to a small town in a way? Because it's a different atmosphere, different pace,
extremely different. Different people. I mean, not saying that it's the same people that I grew up with, a lot of them, but just the different aspects and the different commitment to basketball. This is a basketball state, but over the course of years, if you've noticed, it hasn't, as far as Glasgow's been concerned, there hasn't been a homegrown person behind the helm, like somebody that it actually means more to them than, like, it means something to me to win at Glasgow. It means something, like, it's a personal thing. Like, I grew up in elementary school going to watch Jonathan Bradshaw and Nathan Allen and these type of guys, and then to go out there and actually play on that floor, to go from being an 8th grader to starting as a freshman, playing on that floor and knowing how big the games are for Barron. And a lot of people didn't know, and when you look at, like, the football game, that, for example, I was looking, I'm like, these kids don't know, they haven't played them in 7 years. They don't know the rivalry, like how it's blood, sweat, and tears. You had to beat Barron, like you, and my boys will tell you, me losing to Barron last year, I was crushed, I was hurt. I was really hurt. Like, that's not, because it's just that type of battle.
Yeah.
And it means something to myself. It means something to Brandon. It meant something to my to my grandmother and grandfather who basically raised me. It meant something. My dad won a state championship out there. So being a part of Glasgow Scotty basketball is huge for me, regardless on what it is. I think it means more to me than when I was in Memphis and when I was in Chicago, because those were programs that I helped build, or that I built. And in Chicago, being a part of a legacy kind of taught me how I wanted to go about building another program. So when I got the job, it meant a lot to me to say, hey, I want to build it, but I have to build it right. I have to build it with some integrity. I got to build it. It's not about your parents is this and your parents is that. It's about, hey, what are you going to do as a basketball player? What are you going to do as a coach to help these young men succeed and become better people, and hopefully put them in the best position to hopefully get a scholarship if that's what they choose to do in whatever sport. You know what I mean? But hopefully the young men that come through our sport will understand and be like, okay, I can use this going forward in baseball or in football or in track. That's going to always have that work ethic that they learn from our program.
You mentioned coming from a legacy program there in Chicago, where you'd been head coach near Memphis, and you went to Chicago, and you came from a program that has a history probably unlike many other programs around the nation, honestly. So when you come from that and you start trying to get the players to understand what you mean by that elevation to the next level, did it take them a while to kind of just grasp, how serious you were about that?
Yeah, I think it does. And it's just looking at them, like, sometimes, like, they're wore out. Like, how are you in the gym every day? Like, I'm literally there 7 days a week. There's not a day they can call me and say, hey, coach, I want to get in the gym, that I'm not going to open it up, especially if I'm able to. Even if they just want to get up shots, if they want to get a workout in, or whatever, you know what I mean? And that's the commitment part that has been the biggest difference, is that before it would be 1 or 2, now it's 7 or 8. And then it's not just my seniors and juniors, it's my 8th graders coming up. Coach, can we come in and get on the gun? Can we come in and get a workout? It's starting to trickle down to where after we get out of practice at 7:30, 7:45, I have 10 or 12 kids right now, like just trying to make sure, like, hey, coach, can I stay and get some shots up? Before last year, it was like lightning. You could you could see everybody's out the door. I'm the only person in there, and I'm like, what is going on? But you have seen the commitment through the summertime that they put in, and it's going to pay off. And it paid off a lot in the summertime. Also, with some of the teams that we played some really good teams. We went to Georgetown, West Kentucky. We went to Shelbyville. Where else? We went a couple of other little places, and they played. They got hit in the mouth a couple of times, and where those times they would have argued and fussed and fight, they came together. And as a young group, with only like 2 seniors at the time, with the young group, they came together and they won some of those games that they probably shouldn't have won. Played with some people that they probably shouldn't have played with. Zach was playing baseball, so you add Zach, and he's a hard-nosed, tough guy. You add David Dale with the mix, in the mix, which is a 6'5" kid, real big, physical, that can run the floor. And I think we're gonna be a surprise, not necessarily a surprise to myself and maybe people that might have saw us and ranked us as high as they ranked us, but we got some things to clean up. But the one thing that they're going to do is you won't see that complaining, arguing, fussing, fighting with each other. They come together. Our culture is way different now than it was before, and I think that's going to help us in the long run.
You mentioned the ranking number 5 in the region that these guys talked about it in that prior segment. Do you think that's what's happened from the summer? As a lot of people looked at what you guys were doing, saw the changes, not just the talent-wise, but just the culture and the atmosphere around the program?
I think so. It was big for us. I mean, I like that they got that success, that somebody sees something, because last year we was 15th in the region.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they didn't even know that, but we was at the bottom of the barrel, and I was like, talent-wise, we shouldn't be that way. But I could see as we went forward, it was that way. So I saw what I had to change. The good thing is that the boys responded, and they changed with what we had going on. And you saw it in the summertime. We had some ups and we had some downs, but it was most definitely way more ups than we had downs. We had kids that recognized and took ownership of things that they were messing up on. And then we had kids that were holding other kids accountable, other players accountable to that, and they accepted it. Not because they want to score as many points or get it, they want to win. And that and beyond, I don't care what anybody says about Jarek, about JC or JoJo. It's a plethora of kids that we're gonna have that are gonna surprise a lot of people. But they want to win. It doesn't matter what's in the scorebook. They ain't looking how many points did I score until I tell them. Until I let them know, like, they're worried about did we win at the end of the game, and that's the big part. I think beforehand it was more individual based, and everybody wants this and everybody wants that. Even Jarek will tell you right now, like, he's not gonna do certain things that he ain't already been allowed to do, and it's gonna be some things that you're gonna see out of him that's gonna be different, just like it's gonna be some things that you're gonna see out of other players that we got that's gonna be different. Our team is going to win, not an individual. We don't have anybody that's going to sit there and give us 30 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to have somebody that can do it, but in order for us to win, they can't score 30.
Yeah.
It's going to be a full team effort. And that's what I like about this team, because we do have, like, legitimately 6 or 7 kids that can get double figures every night. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to be the interesting part of it.
You got anything?
No, I don't have anything. I'm just going to honor Coach Buford again. We're going to close this segment out with the late greats, Lance Russell and Dave Brown. Do you know who they were? Those were two, Cody knows. Lance Russell and Dave Brown were the two best commentators in wrestling ever from Memphis wrestling. So we're going to close out with Lance Russell and Dave Brown, and when we come back, we'll talk a little football.
All right.
Extreme Fitness has doubled in size, now with over 8,000 square feet of co-ed weights and an upgraded 90-degree saline therapy pool. The Extreme Fitness campus also holds the exclusive Extreme Fitness for Women complex and Extreme Blend smoothie bar. You have to experience the variety of classes to realize the impact they have on their clients. Personal training is with the best in the business and is available and tailored to fit individuals. So start your journey today at Extreme Fitness and Health Club.
Welcome back to Tell Me About It. I'm James Brown here on Glasgow EPV Channel 6, the local channel. I have Trevent Hayes with me. He's with kysports.tv. It's a basketball day, but we're going to take a quick break from some basketball, talk about some football.
Because it's still football season.
It is for one of our schools, as it turns out.
It is. And I'm back to reporting.
You're done coaching, huh?
Done coaching, yes.
Well,
For the season.
I tell you what, we'll talk about the Glasgow game here in a bit, and we'll spend most of our time on that. But first, let's talk about your game. I think one of the things that kind of happened Friday.
Fumbled on the 1 yard line.
Well, I think my son and I were talking about this on my show earlier in the week, and if you guys had scored on that drive, I think things would have been different in a lot of ways. Mostly just because your players, this is kind of their. No matter how well you've done during the course of the season, still a group of young guys learning how to win games and, learning how to overcome adversity when things go out of whack on them. Yep. And they lost that fumble into the end zone. And
we reverted back. We turned it over about 10 more times.
Yeah, and Bethlehem, look, that Martavius Smith, I think is his name, mm-hmm. I think he is the best running back I've seen this year, just in terms of just being a running back. Because he was physical when he ran with the ball. He was quick in the hole, but he was not in a hurry. He was very patient, waiting for his blocks. And if you didn't square up and hit him, you weren't getting him on the ground.
Nope.
And so I think he's probably the best running back I've seen this year. That includes guys at Glasgow, the guys at Hart County. I know they're good, but I think individually as a running back, he's the best I've seen. And so, once you guys kind of lost that, didn't get that momentum early, and then they were able to get him the ball and get him rolling, and I mean he was tough.
He was.
And then Barron had a 21-0 lead, and the thing that they struggled with, the thing they did well for the first half against McCracken County. They guard the pass, defend the pass well. They did. They were clicking on offense early, but their running back, they ended up Zeno Cornelius. They ended up giving him the ball, McCracken, giving him the ball 28 times for 280-something yards, I think it was. He got rolling, and they could not slow him down. I mean, they got the ball to him. They threw the ball to Cooper Falconite.
Our other name of the week.
Yes, and those two guys must be really good, because once they got rolling, Barron had a hard time slowing them down. Barron couldn't get their offense going. And then at halftime on Friday night, you guys were down. McCracken and Barron were tied 21-21, and Glasgow was trailing 32-22. And I looked down, and I think I told one of your coaches, I'm like, well, it started well for all of our teams, but it's not going well at the moment. And I was like, this might be the last Friday night of football. And then the Scotties came out in the second half. They just physically mauled McLean County. They shut down their running game, stopped them, I think, 4 consecutive times on 4th down, and just took over the game, outscored them, I think it was 40-6 in the second half. And that was just an impressive comeback, I thought, by the Scotties. Impressive. They were making all the little mistakes in the first half that was allowing McLean County to get first downs and 4th downs, get touchdowns. They had a turnover right before halftime, the Scotties did, that McLean turned into a touchdown. They gave them the 10-point lead. I don't know what the halftime speech was, but it worked. And so, it was an impressive comeback and win by the Scotties, and that sets up a game Friday night at Hart County.
Apparently, it's the game of the week in the state of Kentucky, according to KSR.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's quite possible that it is.
I think the winner of this game has the best path to Lexington, depending on one game.
Yeah.
If Bell County beats Belfry, mm-hmm. this side really can cruise in if they keep playing football.
Yeah.
Whether it be Glasgow, Franklin Simpson, or Hart County.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking to what I've done and what I've said all year. I just don't think Glasgow can beat Hart County. I don't.
Well, and I've disagreed with that fact, and Hart County, when they won the game 22-19 a few weeks ago, got the touchdown with 3 seconds left, and But I think leading up to that particular point in that game, at least in the second half, Glasgow had done everything they were supposed to do to win it.
I just don't think Glasgow can play as good as they did. I just don't. And let me tell you something. Hart, it'll be a very hostile environment to play in because they'll have all of Mumfordville, Hardyville. Everybody will be at the game.
All of Canmer.
All of Canmer. Everybody will be at the game.
Yeah. It will be a hostile environment. And I don't know, I don't know what kind of impact that has a lot of times because Glasgow's played some of their worst games actually at home and some of their better games on the road. I mean, if you go back, they went to Somerset, won that game by getting a 2-point conversion late, touchdown, 2-point conversion. Somerset was a 2-loss team, just like Glasgow coming in. They've probably actually played better on the road than they have at home, which is weird. And I don't know. I guess the thing about this game is when you've seen each other already and you're pretty evenly matched, I don't know what each coaching staff comes up with in order to make that separation. I mean, do they just double down on what they do well and say we're just going to be as perfect as we can be at what we do well? Do they come up with different things to run to try to, add a wrinkle here and there? I guess that's a question that's
everybody talks about Hart County's running game, but Campbellsville kind of took away the running game, and Hart County has a great passing attack, and I just don't think you can. That offense is hard to stop.
Yeah,
it's hard to stop, and they've got kids that can play. And, they're going to play, the winner of that game will play the winner of the Union County and Franklin Simpson game.
It's not the way it works in the regional round. It's based on RPI it's RPI West and RPI East. So,
to my understanding, I think that's the way the RPI is going to set up.
No, so here's it could set up that way, but I'm about to throw a wrinkle in that idea.
Okay.
So Cal, Christian Academy of Louisville, is going to be the number 1 RPI, all right? The number 2 RPI, I believe,
Hart County.
Is Hart County.
That's
right.
County.
But the reason it's not going to work out that way is because, the reason it might not work out that way is Mercer County plays Central. And Mercer County, I think, is number 5 in the RPI. And Glasgow's all the way down like at number 7 in the RPI.
But here's the way, it's not who you play.
No.
It's where you play.
No, it is who you play, where you play. All right. So let's say if the 4 topside teams won on the West, all right. So that'd be Christian Academy of Louisville, Union, Hart, and then that would be
Lexington Catholic,
Mercer County.
Mercer.
All right. Mercer's playing Central. So if Mercer were to win that game, then it would be Cal and Mercer, and it would be Union and Hart.
Right.
But if one of them is upset, then that will throw that wrinkle in there.
Throw it away.
Now, I think Central, which is playing Mercer, I think they will beat Mercer County.
So it's going to be
which would put
Cal and Central.
Yeah, that's the way that would be.
And then it'll still be the winner of the Hart and Glasgow against the winner of the Union and Franklin Simpson game.
Yeah, but now if Franklin wins that game, and let's say Glasgow wins that game, then Glasgow would be at Cal and Franklin would play Hart.
Right.
So that's where
Glasgow would go to Cal and Franklin would play
Hart if they were to beat Union.
But Glasgow and Hart both can't win.
No, I'm sorry. If it would be, yeah, you're right. They can't both win.
Say that again.
You're right. They can't both win. I was trying to think of the other game that is the outside of so if Mercer were to win, if Mercer were to win, it would be, but then Glasgow were to beat Hart and Franklin were to beat Union, then Glasgow and Franklin would play each other. But let's say Hart wins and Franklin wins, and Mercer wins, then Franklin would play at Cal, and then Mercer and Hart would play each other. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
So it's not guaranteed the way it works out. There are some wrinkles in it, but mostly it could work out that way.
Okay.
What you said.
All right.
You done? I'm done.
I mean, apparently I am because you tell me I'm wrong. But
I didn't tell you you were wrong. I said you were right.
Hey.
You were right twice.
I'll just say that Hart County will beat Glasgow Friday.
Yeah, I'm not sure they will.
I'm positive they will.
All right, this is Tell Me About It. I'm James Brown, 104thescore.com. This is Trevent Hayes, KYSports.tv. We'll be right back.
Extreme Fitness has doubled in size, now with over 8,000 square feet of co-ed weights and an upgraded 90-degree saline therapy pool. The Extreme Fitness campus also holds the exclusive Extreme Fitness for Women complex and Extreme Blend smoothie bar. You have to experience the variety of classes to realize the impact they have on their clients. Personal training is with the best in the business and is available and tailored to fit individuals. So start your journey today at Extreme Fitness and Health Club.
Welcome back to another busy day on Tell Me About It, Glasgow EPB Channel 6 local channel. We've had basketball coaches, we've had debates about football teams, we've had, I don't know, everything else. We probably talked about chicken wings at some point. But now we have Glasgow girls basketball coach Kelsey Kirkpatrick and girl Desi. I told her I was going to say that. Actually, Cynthia Austin. That's probably one of those inside jokes and that kind of thing, right? So anyway, the Glasgow Lady Scotties, you guys are going to tip off your season in about 3 weeks now. I mean, it's getting so close, isn't it? When you look at the season coming up, I mean, because you lost some key pieces from last year, experience-wise, but you had a bunch of young players, Coach. So when you look at the season coming up, I mean, what's the first thing that you think of that you guys are going to be good at and maybe what you need to improve at just right out of the gate?
Playing last year, we tried to get as much rotation in as we could just to give more girls the experience because we knew what we were losing. You know, Ashton, Cadence, and Mia, they were a huge part of the program the past 4 or 5 years. You know, they were able to handle the pressure, handle the ball. They had more experience, but getting Kayla, Jakali, Addie, Jordy, Sydney, Cockendall, you know, just getting them into rotation, handling the ball, that was huge for them. This summer we seen some things we needed to work on, such as handling the pressure. But, you know, as time goes on and preseason happened, you know, we did more one-on-one type work instead of full team. Some of them had jobs and stuff. So, you know, it's understandable. Teenagers having to do other things. But just getting that one-on-one work in helped them out a lot.
You guys won that first round game in the district last year in pretty dramatic fashion. Talking about one of the young players hitting a big shot.
Yeah.
And what kind of momentum do you think that kind of carried into the offseason for you guys?
I mean, that was a huge game. That was a huge moment for Addie as well as everyone else. We actually talked about that game, what was it, Monday, I believe, how it takes the entire team and not just one person. You know, Addie made that huge shot, but what led up to it, Ashton and Jakali got the big steal. Kayla had a big layup. Cynthia's pressure inside, you know, it created a turnover to where Mia could give the ball up for an assist on the last second shot.
Yeah. Cynthia, you're probably one of the team leaders this year. I mean, in terms of experience coming back and that kind of thing. What does that change for you as role-wise? Because you've kind of been a player that has been able to play off of other people and not really required to like be a leader. So what's changed for you this season?
Just to use my voice a little bit more, you know, just like if there's, I'm sorry. It's been a minute since, like, you know, we did this. But, just I got to use my voice a little more, you know, try and get the other girls to use their voice, you know. One of our key things we got to start working on is communication. So, you know, one person communicates, you know, it starts a chain, so.
And then I guess you're probably one of the more explosive players on the team in terms of getting to the rim. You knew you could do that. What are some things that you worked on in the offseason to improve on?
I'm definitely working on shooting more. You know, I'm starting to be able to shoot kind of anywhere in the paint, but also just trying to work on my confidence a little more and maybe drop a 3 this season.
Have you leaned on her to be a more expressive player and a team leader?
Yeah, we actually talked a lot about it this summer. You know, it's more so like we can't get down on ourselves when you're being coached. Just, you know, take it as in we want you to get better. We need you to get better because you have to lead this team. You know, we don't have a senior this year. We got 3 juniors. We need them to be more they got to communicate a little bit more for the younger girls because, you know, hopefully we have the same exact team as we do this year, next year. You know, it's going to kind of feed into next year as well. So the more we kind of work on the small things now, it'll impact us the end of the year as well as next year.
What are your expectations for the team this season? The district, I mean, Barron, I think, is right there at the top in Region 4. Out of the gate, Allen County brings back a lot of experience. They were hampered some last year, I think, by injuries during the course of the season. And then Warren East, we're not really sure where they are, I would say, in terms of, they came into the district last year and they were probably the 4th team in the district coming in. So, I mean, when you look at this season and the challenge in the district, what do you think about that?
It's going to be a battle no matter who you play, whether it's in the district, in the region. Any team is up to win the game if you come ready to fight, you know, and it's going to be a dogfight no matter who you play. Barron County brought back a lot more girls, Allen County as well. Warren East, they still have a full team. They lost, I think, 2, but they also brought some up that I've seen from their middle school program. So, it's going to be a tough district battle this year.
What does your schedule look like?
This year we're playing more of the region teams. We got almost all the Bowling Green teams. Obviously our district teams. We go to South Warren for a Christmas tournament. We'll play some other teams outside the region. And then we play at Edmonson County for the other Christmas tournament.
Cynthia, I'm going to ask you a loaded question. What's the game that you look most forward to playing this year?
I look most forward to playing this first game. I really want to stick it to Logan. And then also, I want to play Hart.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm super excited for Hart.
One of your former teammates is playing at Hart this year, and of course they have Dia Bradley, who's always a good challenge for you.
Yeah, but also we only lost that game by 3 last year, so kind of want to see what we can do this year.
All right, well, it sounds good. Anything else you want folks to know before you get out of here, and 2 of your other players come join us?
No, our first game is in 3 weeks. Our first scrimmage is next week. We're excited for the season and hope to see some people up in the stands this year.
All right. Well, this is James Brown will tell me about it. We'll be right back with Sydney Kuykendall and Morgan. I can't remember her last name. Thompson. My bad. Welcome back to Tell Me About It. It's more basketball with the Glasgow Lady Scotties. We have Sydney Kuykendall and Morgan Thompson. I've guessed her name right this time. You guys she mentioned that you don't have any seniors this year. You've played a number of years now, a junior, and you're a sophomore. And do you guys find yourselves in kind of leadership roles in terms of where you are?
I find myself as a leader and then giving everybody a little bit of confidence, helping the team communication.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Maureen?
Staying positive, raising my team up.
Yeah. Now, Sydney, what are your expectations for your team this year?
I hope we do good, win. We've been working on what we need to work on and working better as a team.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
Staying positive, communicating.
What did you work on in the off season to get better at, Morgan?
A lot of shooting.
Yeah.
My speed.
Mm-hmm. What about for you, Sydney?
Ball handling and then confidence in shooting a 3. Maybe I'll get one this year.
Well, I'm guessing you're going to, with the 3 guards basically graduating that handle the ball most of the time, you might be one of the players called upon to kind of take over more of that role. Is that right?
Yes.
So is that why you were like, okay, this is going to be
I need to work on my ball handling.
What's your favorite thing about playing at Glasgow, Sydney?
I love our team and I love playing with them and working together.
What about you, Morgan?
Playing as a team, communicating with each other, and like, hold on, I can't think of the
rebounding,
word.
shooting.
Yeah.
Sure. Do you have anything that you like to do outside of basketball?
Basketball.
Is that right? Yeah. Well, that means you should be pretty good at it. Right. I know you also play softball.
Yeah.
When the season tips off, you guys are going to have some pretty good challenges. I mean, when you look at the schedule you guys have coming up, do you have some games that you look at and you're like, I'm interested when we get to play that team or how we match up, Sydney?
All of the district ones. I'm excited to play everybody in the district.
Yeah. How about you, for you, Morgan?
District.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
You guys don't have any specific schools you're like, boy, I love when we get to play them? I'm guessing you've been collared in responses, so we'll keep that there then. Coach Kirkpatrick's probably worried about you guys giving some billboard fodder to somebody, huh? Is that how that works? Yeah. All right. Well, this is James Brown here on Tell Me About It. I've been with Sydney Kuykendall and Morgan Thompson with Glasgow Lady Scotties. We talked a lot of basketball today, a lot of Glasgow basketball, a lot of football, and we'll be back next Thursday, 6 p.m., Glasgow EPB Channel 6 local channel.